Right, in this video I'm going to go over compound sentences, so we'll have to talk a little bit about clause as well, what makes a simple sentence. This is basically in chapter 1 of Grammar and Beyond, so you should read that either after the video or maybe before the video and make sure you're understanding everything in there. Okay, so let's start with the idea of a clause. That's an important term for our class. A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb in it. That's it. It has a subject and a verb in it. So let me give you some examples of clauses. She studied hard, she passed. Because she studied hard, although she studied hard, therefore she passed. All of these are examples of clauses. And if I ask you why is this a clause? Your answer is it has a subject, it has a verb. So where's the verb? Here. There's the subject, right? And all of these have very similar subjects and verbs. They're all she, and the verb is either studied or past. So they're all clauses. Clauses could be short, clauses could be long, but these are all single clauses. Now, what we want to talk about here is how to make a longer sentence by putting clauses together. Of course, you could have just one clause in a sentence, like she studied hard. That is what we call a simple sentence because it's simple. It has only one clause in it. A sentence with one clause is just called a simple sentence. Here's another simple sentence, she passed. These are simple sentences, only one clause. They're just fine. We should look down here too. This says because she studied hard. If I put a period here, is this a sentence? Do I have a simple sentence here? It has a clause, but actually we're going to say that this is not a sentence. It's not a simple sentence. And the reason is because this word, when you put it on the front of a clause, it cannot stand by itself. It needs more. We need another clause here. Because she studied hard, comma, she passed. Something like that. Same thing with although. When you use a word like although she studied hard, we can't end the sentence there. We need to put a comma. We need to add some more stuff. We'll go over that at some point in the class, what these words are and that kind of thing. People actually disagree about what these words are. But what you need to know is that there are some words that when they go on the front of clauses, they prevent that clause from making a simple sentence, from being a complete sentence. Okay? So let's just get rid of this for a minute. How about this one, actually? Let's look at this one. Therefore, she passed. Is this one okay? Answer, yes. And you may think, well, therefore, same as because or although or something, but it's not. And that tells you that you need to kind of learn which words prevent clauses from being sentences and which don't. Therefore, just an adverb. It's just an adverb. So it's modifying the clause, and it's fine totally by itself. Okay, so anyway, we have three simple sentences here. And really what we want to do is learn how to make compound sentences. I know you know how to do this already, but I want to review, and I want to make sure that you know how to use the correct punctuation. Okay, so there are two basic ways, two ways to make a compound sentence. They both involve taking two sentences or two clauses and connecting them. So I'm going to connect these two. She studied hard and she passed. I'm going to connect them. Two ways to do it. Way number one to do it is by using a conjunction. And in English, there are only 7 conjunctions, only 7. So let's write those 7 right here. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, So you can memorize these because there are only 7 of them. It's never going to change. And one way to remember them is they spell the first letters spell the word fanboys. Fanboys. We could choose one of these and put it right there, and we'll have a compound sentence. So which one, I mean, they all have slightly different meanings, as you know. So which one would fit best here? She studied hard and she passed. That would be okay. The best one would probably be so. So I'm going to put so in there. She studied hard, so she passed. Now we have a compound sentence. Now, punctuation. The rule for punctuation here is it's normal, it's recommended to use a comma when writing a compound sentence with a conjunction. So I'm going to require the comma for this class because I want to see if you understand what you're doing. So I want you to put a comma here every time that you connect 2 clauses using a conjunction. Okay? So the other way, let's talk about the other way to connect these 2 sentences. The other way to connect these 2 sentences would be through a semicolon. A semicolon. So instead of using a conjunction, don't use a conjunction when you do this, but instead of using conjunction, you can simply add a semicolon. And this is totally legal. We have a compound sentence. We still have our 2 simple clauses. She studied hard, or 2 clauses. She studied hard, semicolon, she passed. And that's totally fine. Now you may want to, when you do this, you may want to include a word here, an adverb, that helps to explain that this was the effect of this. So you may want to add a word like so, but in this case, so doesn't work, right? Because so is a conjunction, and we don't use a conjunction with the semicolon. But we could use a word like therefore. So we could try that. Therefore, she passed. And this is just an adverb. It's just an adverb. It's not really a special grammar word. But there are other words like this, other adverbs we could use, like thus, hence. These are kind of formal words. But formal words are good when you're writing an essay. All right, so that's the compound sentence. You should know 2 ways to form it. You should know the correct punctuation. If this was hard, watch the video again, read GB, or come into office hours, and I'd love to talk about it with you. All right, thanks.